Hey yo guys, this is Jared aka the Saint of Sins on Xbox Live, bringing you some more MLB 2K12 gameplay on Legend difficulty featuring the Washington Nationals at the New York Mets. And this is the Monday, May 7th, 2012 edition of MLB Thoughts. Yesterday I went back to struggling as I finished the day 7-8, now placing me at 41-42 on the month of May. The picks that I got wrong were the Rangers, the Red Sox, the Pirates, the Rays, the Dodgers, the Padres, the Brewers, and the Twins. Some of the big news to come out of yesterday was Albert Pujols hitting his first home run as an Angel and his first home run in his first 110 at-bats of the season. This was the longest stretch Pujols has ever gone homerless in his entire career. Last season he went 106 at-bats without a home run, ranging from April 23rd to May 23rd. Though he would finish last year with 37 home runs and only 99 RBIs, it's a little tougher to figure out whether or not Pujols can get back onto that kind of track, as right now he's batting 196 with 1 home run and 7 RBIs and has an on-base percentage of .237. Some of my concerns with Pujols range from last year, where he only drew 61 walks, the lowest of his career, and fear this may be a trend he continues here, as right now he's only sitting on 6 walks. The reason for my concern? It doesn't seem to matter who's batting behind him, he's just not getting any kind of protection. Pitchers have just simply been able to outmatch him. Should he start opening up, he could end the season with a high total of home runs, as well as get his 100 RBIs, but I'm a little reluctant to bank on this, as Pujols doesn't strike me as that kind of hitter. He always does all the little things right, and looks more to position his team into getting wins as opposed to just padding his stats. I'm sure he'll be able to get 25 home runs in the season easy, I'm just not sold he could break 30 quite as efficiently. As for the 100 RBIs, I think that might become an issue later on, as Mike Trout is only batting .233 with a .273 on-base percentage, while the two hosts seems to fluctuate with different names in its slot. Messier Isturiz seems to be a fine candidate for the job, as he's batting .265 with a .368 on-base percentage, while Howie Kendrick seems to struggle in collecting walks, as he's batting .275 with a .295 on-base percentage and is slugging .480. Realistically, I can see Pujols ending the season with a .290 average, with 28 home runs and about 98 RBIs. That is, of course, if everything remains the same. I am willing to believe that the Angels will make some moves to add to their depth, and that Pujols will make the proper adjustments to get back into his own rhythm. But for now, I'm going to stick with those numbers as my claim for his end of the season stats. Also worth noting was Bryce Harper collecting his first steal of his major league career by stealing home plate against Cole Hamels in the bottom of the first inning, after intentionally being hit by pitch with 2 outs. Now, I'm not trying to make any kind of correlations when I say this, but one other player to accomplish this feat was Dan Uggla. Take from that what you will, but we'll be moving on to today's games. We'll begin in Cleveland, where the Indians will host the White Sox in a doubleheader today, first sending up Zach McAllister to face off against Philip Humber. I like Cleveland to take game 1 of this doubleheader. At 7 p.m. Eastern Time, the Mets will travel into Philadelphia, sending up Jonathan Neese to face off against Roy Halladay. Although I'm still not sold on the Phillies having enough offensive potency to get by the Mets right now, I will be siding with them here simply because Halladay shuts down the Mets offense. After a wild sweep in Fenway, the Orioles return home to host the Texas Rangers, sending up Brian Mattis to face off against Matt Harrison. I'll be siding with the Rangers to take game 1 of this series, simply because I don't like Mattis' lifetime numbers against the Rangers. Back in Cleveland for game 2 of the doubleheader, Josh Tomlin will take to the mound to face off against the returning Eric Stoltz. There isn't much I can say about Stoltz that I like, so I'll be siding with Cleveland to get the doubleheader sweep. The Braves travel out to Chicago, sending up Tommy Hanson to face off against Jeff Samardzija. I like the Cubbies' chances of teeing off on Hanson for this game. Riding high on a 6-game win streak, the Marlins travel out to Houston, sending up Carlos Zambrano to face off against Wandy Rodriguez. I expect this one to be a bit of a pitching duel in favor of the Marlins. After an embarrassing stumble in yesterday's game, the Red Sox travel out to Kansas City in hopes to change their luck as they send up Felix Doubront to face off against Jonathan Sanchez. I'll be banking on the Red Sox to end their 5-game losing skid on their bats alone, especially off of Jonathan Sanchez. The Brewers will begin a homestand this week, sending up Yovani Gallardo to face off against the visiting Reds' Bronson Arroyo. Thus far into the season, I'm still not impressed with Gallardo's performances, and his lifetime numbers against Cincinnati lead me to believe that this will be a Reds victory. Coming off a 2-game skid in Seattle, The Twins return home to host the visiting Angels, sending up Francisco Liriano to face off against Jarrett Weaver. This one's easy enough for me to pick. I'll be siding with the Angels simply because Weaver's the better pitcher. The Diamondbacks will return home to Arizona to begin a homestand for the week, sending up Joe Saunders to face off against the much deflated Cardinals and Lance Lynn. This one I flipped back and forth on quite a bit, but I'll be siding with Arizona for the victory to kick off this homestand. National League West Division rivals will clash in San Diego as the Padres will send up Edinson Volquez to face off against the Rockies' Drew Pomeranz. Though I've been burned 3 straight times picking the Padres during the weekend, I'm still going to be rolling with them to pick up their 10th victory of the season behind a strong start from Volquez. Doug Fister will be reactivated off the disables list and get his first start since April 7th as he and the Tigers roll into Seattle to face off against his old team and Blake Beavan. After a solid rehab start in AAA Toledo, all signs point to a Detroit victory. And finally, in Los Angeles, the Dodgers will send up Ted Lilly to face off against the Giants' Barry Zito. I'll be rolling with the Giants for the victory as Lilly seems to struggle against this Giants lineup. That's going to do it for this edition of MLB Thoughts. I will see you guys later. Peace.